with this game and how people are a little bit more passive and people would like them to play a little bit more fast paced. But this is one of those maps where I think it's a lot harder to do that with just how many choke points there are. And with these abilities like raise and slow orb, like it's very difficult to just basically go through all of that and just not walk into your death. So as we go into this
not
map,
walking into your death is ideal, generally speaking.
You don't want to be doing that. But for fish123, we see kind of what I think you and I have dubbed the standard composition, or just everyone. If you're playing this game, you've kind of just played this. And for the other side, we're seeing Hip's kind of their standard composition. So again, a difference in compositions here for both of these teams.
Fish123 right now just fully stacking onto this A site. They grab that first kill. There goes Hip. Breach gone. No concussions or flashes for the defense. One player hiding behind the sign. Not gonna last long. This is an easy rush in for fish123 thus far. They're gonna get this plant down no problem.
Very easy execute, and now it's up to the 3 members of Hip to try and come back and contest onto this site. But everything is locked down. Nice wall there as well onto screens, making sure that they know if someone's going to be there, they're going to have to break that wall, and now they know where one of the members are.
No charges left.
That camera is going to be a vital tool here. That paint shell, I think, just barely tagged. Actually, it did more than barely tag, but the heal will save him, at least momentarily. Kriya's gonna go down, Law up on top, grabs the first headshot, but cannot find anything beyond that. And it's a pretty dominant pistol round from fish123, which is honestly what we've come to expect from their team at this point.
We talked about it last round where they got 2 thrifties on basically only pistols, so they're very familiar with these pistol rounds, and they are showing their prowess in it. Now all of them have those bulldogs, 1 Spectre to match with it. On the defensive side for Hip, you're going to have to just get budget buys, shorties, try and just get those 1-pump trades or something like that. But very difficult now for the defensive side to try and hold this with just the advantage that they're going to have on the offensive side for fish123.
Right now just prodding into mid. Echo's not convinced that nobody was hiding behind that box, as a TP could have come in from that Omen. But has yet to do so. Kriya actually playing back a little bit thus far. All of Hip playing very defensively, holding angles.
Yeah, I think they're just waiting for that opportune moment where they can maybe peek out and try and get one of those headshots. But everyone has armor on the enemy side, so it's going to be very difficult. There's Eccles with a nice kill already to start onto Kriya.
I like how Firoz actually just jumped his way through. He was like, yes, you're the bait. I will get away.
Hey, he got a kill too. So.
And grabs the kill with the shock dart. So I guess it was all worth it in the end, or maybe not. He won't find the second. Shorty at range, not the ideal gun, I would say. And that's 2 on the board, as you'd expect for fish123.
Pretty standard second round there with that buy. And now, luckily for Hip, they are going to be able to get those full buys in, except for, I think, Faro, who is going to... Actually, no, he is going to get the full buy. So everyone gets a full buy, but this is also kind of one of those pivotal rounds because we know that fish123 is very good at playing from behind on their terms of their guns. If Hip loses this round, their economy is going to be in the dumpster, and it is going to be very easy for fish123 to continue to circulate and snowball this lead.
And it feels like Hip are antsy. You're getting antsy again. You know, we've seen throughout this weekend, maybe they just like playing aggro in the first few rounds, but last round, you know, they had things like the shorties, and they were peeking angles with them. I'd like to see them maybe play back a little bit more. Don't know if they will, as now this round, statistically, or at least in terms of firepower, they have the advantage. Recon Bolt will spot that there is nobody in mid, and Law will spot that there's at least 1 coming A, so that does force 1 player to rotate over to that side.
Just waiting patiently here. Ice Paper Hands does get the pick onto Hip, so good entry already for fish123, and now I think they're going to probably rotate this over towards that A side and try and stack 4 people onto it. Actually, no, they're just going to go through that mid, so this is actually really well played from fish123.
Great cyber cage, though, right there on that B
side.
Side.
What a shot.
T-Scale didn't know it was even coming. I mean, he did know, but he wasn't able to do anything about it. And now B is as free as
they're all at A.
Yeah, fish123. Yep. You were talking about that economy for the defense. Honestly, I kind of expect
you have to
Law
save
and Firoth to save this round, right? But it's an early save, and that means Now they can get hunted down by a lot of these players who have picked up Vandals from the fallen members of Hip Hip Hip.
That's even the worst part about it, is that they're getting the Vandals from everyone else, right? Where they don't even have to spend their money. Feroth gets a nice kill onto Eccles, so some of that economy has been hindered just a little bit, but more of those are going to have to come into play. They're going to get hunted down here for sure, both of these players, and they're going to have to either trade or make sure that no one gets this Vandal, because that is going to be the worst case scenario for them. They can hear them in vents, so they know that someone is going to be in heaven.
And it is Feroth who is just watching that one. Paint Shell will go wide. Link does pick up Law, but it seems like
get the Vandal too.
Will get away. The Vandal does get picked up there. Beautiful economy now for fish123, and you can't say the same for Hip Hip Hip. You gotta wonder. There's the one Vandal on the board. You could theoretically buy a second one. Are they actually going to do the uncomfortable half buys that we saw last time? It seems like no. They're going to, well, it seems like sort of.
Yeah, it's like a half, like it's just like a zombie buy where they're just like picking different parts.
It's a 1/4 buy.
Yeah, it's so weird, but like for fish123, they're in the driver's seat for their economy.
I don't think it was that bad. A lot of players had around that 1500 mark, so you look at the loss streak, they're probably going to get up to the point where they could buy next round, even if they lose this round anyways, so economically they could trade up if they go for a few of these cheaper buys.
Yeah, but they have to win it, and we haven't seen really Hip 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 really get those good moments in those pistol rounds. It's usually been fish123 who has won those, and now they have the Vandals and stuff like that. So this should be a round win for fish123, taking us to that 4-0 score, unless some crazy mechanical plays or some catches can come out from Hip Hip Hip.
This is Valorant, though. It's not CSGO, so utility can very much enable you to grab those kills. They are absolutely going to peek into him, but Feroth trades it back, it seems. He actually peeks through vents at that time where the one player who was eliminated was able to call out that somebody was coming through sewers, so it's still a 1-for-1. Not worst case scenario.
This is also really good patience from Hip 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 here, because once they saw people rotating through that mid site, they very easily could have jumped the gun and said, we want to rotate B because that's where they're going. But no, they stick to their guns and they're staying at A, which is what the side of fish123 are doing as well. And Kreia gets a nice pick. It's traded out. Eccles gets one. It's a 2-for-1 trade here, and there's one in heaven. Can they do anything? They have to get this plant off, Paul.
The problem is that it's only Feroth with a decent gun right now, and Link flicks back to grab his noggin. That's 4 rounds in a row for fish123, which I feel...
Let's also remember, Paul, what did we say before this started? This is a defensive favored map. It is 4-0 right now for the offense.
Just about to mention that.
This is very bad for Hip Hip Hip. They're already down 4-0, and they're already on the they're on the defense. So now when they go to that offense, they're going to be already at a disadvantage as well. So
if
this is not really good.
If Hip 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 lose this round, you can almost call the series, right? Because then, you're looking at round 6 will be in eco, so you're looking at a 6-0 scoreline potentially for fish123, and they haven't even gotten the chance to defend on the one map everyone pretty much universally agrees is defensive favorite in Valorant right now. Feroth is going to throw out that Hunter's Fury. Does tag one. Doesn't quite get the follow-up, though. And even if he did, I don't think he would have been able to finish that kill off. Satchio went down onto that breach regardless.
They know at least now where they might be in that sewers area, sewers mid area. Here comes the Owl drone, gonna scout some more, so they still have some information about where they are in that mid. Law gets a nice pick, but it's traded back by Soulcast.
Hip 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 still playing pretty aggressively on all of their defenses. This is not what they were doing yesterday, at least when they went up against IDDQD. They would play back, let IDDQD blow a bunch of utility to get on the site and go for retakes. This, on both our maps, it's been almost a different team than we saw from yesterday. Kreia, I believe Soulcast might have blocked that shot with his body.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too.
That is very unfortunate, and Kreia will grab a second one too. Finally, we get a point on the board for Hip Hip Hip, and not a moment too soon.
And now they've stabilized, which is the biggest thing. They're going to be able to get some more buys in. Their economy's looking pretty decent. Even if they lose this next round, they're still going to be able to buy. But unfortunately for them, the economy for fish123 has been built up pretty extensively. So we're going to have a couple of rounds, these next ones, Paul, where it's going to be just mechanics versus mechanics. Everyone's going to have full buys. Everyone's going to have full vandals. It's going to be down to who wins those gunfights. And so far, it's been a lot of fish123 winning those gunfights more often than not.
And that was a bit more of what I was wanting to see from Hip Hip Hip, right? They actually let the attacking team push onto the site, and rather than taking aggressive gunfights with... Oh, I mean, I guess Kriya took an aggressive gunfight.
He did, yeah.
He took one. But, like, you know, sending one player to take an aggressive gunfight isn't the worst case scenario if it buys time for the rest of your team to rotate. Now it seems like, at least on the A site, they're playing pretty far back. I love this camera angle from Petit Skell. That is beautiful. He knows there's someone in ramps now. And Firoth shuts down Soulcast. There goes the quote-unquote carry for fish123.
Soulcast is down in Petit Scale. He does know that there is someone on ramps, and he does see them. I wonder if the camera, I don't think, got taken. Oh, it did get taken out. Okay, so the camera's not there anymore. He's not able to see, but now they have the information that there is someone sitting on ramps.
Is that wall down on the ground? Was it just trying to wall off screens? You know there's probably a player playing in heaven. I don't think that's ideal at all. Petit Scale easily grabs 2. And now it's all just on ice paper hands. Sure, he's got the op, but he can't even look the right way. Kriya cleans him up, and Hip Hip Hip, they're stabilizing a bit.
Stabilizing is a very good word for it, Paul, and now it's time for fish123 to be put in that kind of gut check moment with their economy. They have to do some full buys here, or some soft buys, because some of their economy isn't looking the greatest, but you already see 500, 0. I think that Link is going to have to opt for maybe a Sheriff or a Stinger, something. Okay, he's going to get bought a Bulldog. So now, especially now that they have bought the Bulldog for him, they have to win this, or else Hip 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 is going to be able to snowball. But like we know for fish123, they're very good at playing the Thrifty.
They were at least on Haven. We'll see if the same rings true if we get to that scenario here. Smoke straight into the Molotovs. So nobody is going to be playing anywhere near there anytime soon. There is a camera up there, not actually a player. It will likely get spotted out as they turn this corner. And it does. So now Petit Skell, he's going to have to trigger his cage. He's got a great angle onto some of the legs of these players. That was an ambitious trapwire to say, at the very least. Actually, the camera's still there. It didn't get destroyed. Nobody saw it, and Petit Skell is buying so much time.
Buying a lot of time, and we see 55 seconds left for the team. Actually, just here comes the showstopper. Doesn't get the kill that it wanted there. Actually, hasn't been even shot off yet. Oh, there
he gets the kill anyways. I was about to say it's worthwhile regardless, because at the very least, you buy your team that space into heaven. But now, you actually know there's a kill.
That was a TP.
Kriya TP's straight into the line of fire. Paint Shell is going to force everybody back. There's 3 people playing in the alley for Hip Hip Hip. They're all entering from this same angle, but Soulcast doesn't have any utility left. He's not going to be able to punish them for it. He actually gets punished himself for playing on the high ground, and the spike got planted, but it's going to be just as easily diffused. And now the econ for fish123 is not ideal. They could still buy some. They got a couple players sitting around 4K, but it won't be a full AR round.
And again, this is kind of, I wonder how they're going to take this, because again, we have seen them be very good on those 50 rounds, and it looks like they are going to do the save. Very smart from them. You don't want to, I mean, you're already 4 rounds up. You already have 4 rounds on an attacking side on split. This is still very good for you, just in terms of how this map is going to be able to go. So now if you win this round, that's a 5th round, and you're basically almost halfway there to that map win.
You're still looking at this, though, and thinking it's a quote-unquote defensive favored map. So even though Hip have been able to put 3 in a row, they have a long way to go before we are comfortable. I'm actually intrigued by the fact that he put it in the same spot twice, because it was spotted out the last time.
Yeah, they know.
That they went for this A push. Now Petit Skell knows there's at least one coming up the ramp. It's still the raise. He grabs that headshot, throws out the neural theft.
Oh, he got 2.
He's gonna know where everyone is. He grabs 3, but won't be the full ace. But everyone's up in heaven, and Hip 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 no.
Petit Scout did his job right there. Pharaoh comes in with that op kill. Hip cleans everything up, and the econ round doesn't go as well as it has in the past, but it was an econ round. Now full buys available for each of these teams here. Full gun game for everyone, Paul.
I'd like to see a Valorant gun game, you know?
That'd be so
you start on the classic, then you get like the frenzy, you work your way up to the op.
End is a knife kill, right? You have to end it with a
Oh yeah, and the end is a knife kill. Yeah, of course. Which is actually really difficult in this game because it's 2 knives to kill.
Unless it's from behind, where it's just like the
Yeah, sure, but you know.
That's the difficulty in it. But we do see here.
I do want to take a look at these ultimates actually, because it's nearly a smorgasbord for the defending team, right? They've got 4 online. They just use a neural theft, but especially with Eccles going down, you have to imagine they're defensively favored. We got a 4-man stack
Yeah, this
on main right now.
There they are.
An intriguing strategy.
Oh, can he get this kill actually?
Hunter's Fury. It lands the first one. Takes a breather and won't be able to find the second or third, but at least he gets that tag, and the heal is forced to be committed onto that Brimstone. But like I was trying to talk about ultimates before, you still got a couple pretty good ones for fish123.
Yeah, specifically you have the ultimate from that breach there, which the Rolling Thunder where Brimstone star. No wait.
I was talking about fish123.
Oh, sorry. Okay,
No
I messed up.
left.
I was talking about the other team. But yeah, they do have that Brimstone ulti, which is very good at kind of setting up points, and you can flush people out of certain areas if you think they are. Like they do see someone right now towards that B site. This, if you could get someone in, you know, you Brimstone ulti into the back of it, that would be.
Petit Scout knows there's at least one playing there, and actually that cyber cage, I don't think it covers his feet when he tries to push in. He knows exactly where the raise is. Once again, Soulcast gets caught on that entry, so Petit Scout at least trading.
Exactly where you
but there's that neural theft. The plant will come down, and Firoth, beautiful timing there. So unfortunate for Firoth, though. Now we're just left in a 3v3.
Ice Paper Hands does have this operator. He's been very good with it on previous maps. We'll see if he's going to be able to spot anyone. No one's coming from the direction he's currently looking right now. And there is a res on the Firoth, so this is now a 4v3 situation. There's the ultimate.
Orbital Strike is going to catch one. Law could not get away, and Firoth is forced into the waiting arms of Link. The heal comes onto Link too, so he's going to be feeling more than fine. It's up to Hip to 1v2 clutch. He gets the first. Does he know where the Sage is playing? He will now, but the spray through the wall is in favor of Link, not the defending breach. So once again, it's going to be around on the board for fish123.
I mean, good call on the ultimates, Paul, because we saw in that last round, all the ultimates went down. Rolling Thunder, Orbital Strike, the Resurrection as well. But the team that had the advantage in the ultimates, that was the defending side, they didn't end up winning that round, did Hip. So now it's fish123 who have an advantage with that Resurrection coming into this next round. They're already at 5 rounds on a defending favored sided map. And if this next round goes to them as well, they're going to be halfway towards that win.
And you're going to be, I mean, regardless, I think you're, even if you lose the next 3 rounds.
Oh, yeah, you're happy with this.
You're at the very least not upset by it.
Yeah.
If you're fish123. The same cannot be said for Hip. And they invested a lot of ultimates in that round to no avail, right? I mean, they got a couple out of fish123, sure, but you didn't win the round, and you used the Hunter's Fury and the Rolling Thunder and the Resurrection.
For nothing. Basically for nothing.
For a couple more trades onto the econ, right? But I mean, you know.
I mean, for fish123, trades on the econ don't really matter for them.
It didn't damage them at all, right? I mean, it damaged them, but it didn't like cripple them. Firoth is holding this angle with the op, and he grabs that first body shot, nice and easy. Second one will not land though. Recon dart, that's not the best time to use that, buddy. They know exactly where you are now. Still two players holding this B site.
That's just unlucky. I don't think he expected them to come that quickly. Kreia gets one. Kreia gets another. Hip gets all 3 headshots in a row. Make it 3 for Kreia. And that is a good way to end a round right now. Headshots all the way across the board. We're tied 5-5.
Bro, did Kreia even have to move his mouse?
No, I think he just sat there and was just like, pew, pew, pew.
He might have been able to take that one blindfolded, honestly. They lined up beautifully for him, and the crosshair placement was actually really good. Like, not to, like, not to put a damper on that 3K, because the crosshair placement from Korea was excellent there.
Excellent, yeah.
He didn't have to move his mouse because it was already perfectly placed.
Yeah, and they walked into it like really, really good people. So, really helpful.
I like how you imply that they're like gifting him those kills there. Firoth is actually going to rotate off this angle.
Revealing area.
He's going to reveal where he's playing from with that.
Oh, this is a hard
recon
stack
bolt.
too.
This hard stack, you might want to fall off this one.
Yeah.
There's still fault lines and smokes. Smokes aren't going to be thrown down to cover Cryptex, though.
Come
and
on.
through the smoke, Firoth catches a third in this round. It's just Link left with the spike. Sure, he has the heal. Resurrect is available. Don't expect him to use it. He gets spotted, and although PT Scale doesn't grab that kill, everybody knows where Link is. And he's sitting on 22 health. Korea will finish that one.
Korea and I mean that was really for Firoth coming into his own right now on this operator. As you can already see, 14-7 with that KDA, and it seems like every time someone tries to peek him, he's just there and he gets those shots, even through the cyber cage, which was pretty nuts. So we went from Hip being in a very bad position to their economy to them now having the advantage, because you look at the other side for fish123, 0,
This is their last buy round.
400.
Well, I
300.
mean, it's the last round of the half.
Yeah.
So this is actually timed out pretty well.
Yeah.
For fish123, you're not worried about the next round. You can all in this round, and they have things like the Rolling Thunder to help them out. That's a nice Hunter's Fury, though. Already catches one. Cryptex down immediately.
Yeah, I love that from Firoth, using that recon bolt and then comboing it with the Hunter's Fury when you know where people are. Resurrection comes through, so he knows that people are around this general area. At least there's one. Will he? And now they're retreating away. So
because he used the Hunter's Fury, they know where the operator is.
Yeah.
Fish123, they know Firoth has that operator. They want to be on the complete opposite side of the map from that. Although they're just going to walk into Korea. Korea has been getting the better of Soul Cast time and time again these past few rounds.
Now they're a hard rotate back to A, so they are going to go back to wherever the operator is. This is a very, very strong rotate. Link is going to go down to a headshot. Rolling Thunder is coming in. It's a gunfight happening now. Paul, wall is up. Is he going to be able to get the kill? He traded. Echoes goes 1 for 1.
1 for 1, but Firoth is still locking down this site with that operator. He's actually looking for the rotation. He's pushing forward back through alley.
Are they gonna go back to B?
Maybe expecting the rotate. Yeah, once again. Hip
he's waiting, he's waiting.
Yeah. Oh, Korea, he manages to get one. But what I was saying is, Hip have kind of learned that fish123 will always rotate away from the operator and never go into it. So now they've read this rotate coming, and they have the high ground advantage. Link grabs one, but he gets the second two. It's a tied game as we exit the first half.
Which is where you do not want to be if you are the defending side at that point. I mean, sure, you're tied 6-6, but again, this is a very defensive favored map. We were at a point where it was like, I think it was 4-0, 5-0, something like that.
It was 4-0.
4-0. Yeah, and at that point, it was just like, okay, this is very bad for us, but at least it's even right now. Maybe they can do the same thing where they are maybe more of an attack-favored type of team, where they have that like kind of slow play style, like you mentioned, where they're playing that slow style of just gaining information. So maybe that's how they come back into this. But for the defensive side, you're in a pretty cushy position if you're fish123 with those 6 rounds that you got from the defense, or from the offense, rather.
And I don't think there's been a straight-up pistol round thus far that fish123 have lost. I think they're 3 for 3 on them.
Yep.
So far.
And if you count the thrifties, it's like 5 for.
Those have like double value though. So then we're going like they've won 6 out of 3 rounds. So let's not count those right now at the very least. Actually, the Cypher right now, Petit Scale is just holding down A, watching for a flank, while everybody else rotates up. That's going to be a nasty paint shell, though. Tags some nice damage, but Soulcast cannot convert into a kill, and Hip just walks forward. Nasty with the classics so far. He's only got 23 health, though.
And this might be the caster curse while we were talking about how every time fish123 gets a pistol round, they win, and now it's just a lonely Sage versus 4 people. Are they going to be able to do it? I think it's going to be very difficult. Maybe you just try and get some frags on the way out, but
get some money in your pocket, right?
Yeah.
Each kill is worth some credits, so no point in not going for this. Although Petit Skell, waiting on a beautiful angle, will just put one right into the dome of Link, and that's the first pistol round this match, won by Hip Hip Hip.
And luckily, at least for fish123 here, they are still really good at pistol rounds, so this econ isn't going to be the worst econ round for them. Maybe they can trade out some frags. But this is the first time where we've had a situation that they've won the pistol round, and now they can try and snowball this to an 8-6 lead on the attack. But again, this is still... We said this map was a defensive favored. It doesn't seem like that way now.
We'll see if that rings true for the remainder of these rounds. We expect Hip 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 to win this one. I love that arrow.
I'm
and that's something, you know, a lot of people don't play the Sova, at least at the highest level of play. You know, you see what we think is the standard 5, what fish123 are running. But when you learn all the different angles, all the different preset arrows for these recon darts and these shock darts, it becomes so much more valuable.
Right, because they're coming from places where people might not even expect, because if everyone's like scrimming and playing with these standard compositions and no one's running that Sova, they're gonna be like, oh, how did that arrow even get here from the other side? You just aren't ready for it. The spike has gone down.
You know what else they're not ready for? A 4-man stack rush through the ram.
Oh, we got two. What?
Hip just sprays down the angle, doesn't even pay for it. He barely took any damage. He's still sitting on 33 armor, throws in that aftershock to give Link a hard time, and that is a flawless second round of the offense for Hip Hip Hip.
You said Hip wasn't ready, but he was definitely ready for that.
I was wrong. I was very, very wrong.
I wonder if he even got hit with the concussion, or because if he hit that through concussion, that was kind of nuts that he was able to do that.
I don't think it was concussion. I think it was actually the aftershock that went through that wall. So he probably took a little bit of damage from that, and then nobody else actually hit him.
No one hit him. Okay, well then that's just you hit your shots, man. And unfortunately, weren't able to hit him. But now full buys for both teams are available, so we're going to be looking at some Vandals for this offensive team here. So you see Faroth going forward. Soulcast has been a little bit quiet, Paul. It's not been the same performance that it was.
Korea has been dunking on him this game.
It's not been the same performance that it was on Haven, where Soulcast was that kind of carry potential player. Now we see the camera goes down from Cryptics. They know someone is in that B short area. There's the Aldron as well. It's shot at.
Sure, and now they know exactly where Cryptics is actually playing from too. So they can actually just fully push in onto him. The problem is they haven't cleared out Heaven, so they don't feel comfortable actually removing that Cypher as of yet, especially considering that their player's down right now. And Cryptics is just going to push forward with the distraction of the Boombot and claim Fearoth's life.
That was really well played from both of them. They used the Doombot as kind of like a distraction, like you mentioned, and then they push onto him. Eccles has 3 already on that breach, and this looks like this defense is going to hold. Just a lonely Omen left on that B site, gonna try. I mean, he can't really push through here. He has to deal with Cryptics.
And I don't believe he can save either. I don't think he had that Shrouded Step available, so he goes forward and at least trades onto Cryptics. The economy for Hip 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 is still fine. And that's the expected 2-1 in the first 3 rounds. So now we're going to get presumably a full buy from both teams, although you have a little bit of an issue, actually, where you're sitting at 3,700 for both Kriya and Fearoth right now. So
I need this.
They won't be able to full buy utility, armor, and guns, right? Fearoth is actually going to have to opt into something like a Guardian or a Stinger.
Maybe a Bulldog or something, but it looks like we don't know exactly what he's picked right here.
Actually,
Slower from Law?
I don't think he had enough for a Guardian. He was sitting at what, 22?
22,
right?
So he was like a Bulldog probably.
Yeah, he can't get a Guardian there.
And we see put a 3-stack onto A, and gonna see how that works out. The recon ball does not hit Law in this area, so they might not know that he's there at the current moment. And there's still that 2-stack onto B. Kreia gonna just book it off of this site and just gonna rejoin his brothers and go to mid.
And this feels a little bit more like what Hip was doing. Hip was doing yesterday, right? They spread out, look at every site, see if they can get a peek, invest some utility like this fault line that's going to go back towards vents. They're going to throw that one in and try to get the cheeky peek, but Unfortunate timing there for the player who was in vents. They're able to leave through ropes and disengage. Eccles now gonna come back as the call is coming out that there is a push coming through mid.
They're all mid, and they don't necessarily have control of Heaven yet, but they're gonna try and take it right now. Waiting, they have the dart tracker on them, and Feroth is able to get a kill, but it's traded back for Kreia, both on Bulldogs here. And it looks like it is going to be Petit Skull coming back in with the vengeance, so now it's 2v2, Paul.
2v2.
Found you.
And Cryptix is a little bit low. Actually gets spotted too by the trap wire. Link still has the high ground advantage though. He's gonna be able to
plan
whenever he feels like he still goes up. He turns around and flicks onto Cryptix. Gets the 4K in the round.
And takes the op as well. That was masterfully played from Petit Skull. I mean, it was almost perfectly played from fish123 there. They went at the exact same time, but a huge flick from Petit Skull ruins the 2v1, the 1v2, and it's going to be Hip taking that round. Their economy looking a lot better right now. As you can see on the other side, 0-0-0 all at the bottom. This is a pivotal moment again for fish123. If they can win this, they'll be able to stabilize. If not, we're going to get some poor buys. Then you're looking at 11-7, and it's not going to be looking good for them.
I'd like to take this quick minute to apologize profusely to Petit Skull. He's had some nutty plays today, and coming into this match, I said he was probably the quietest player on Hip.
He heard you.
This just goes to show that anybody on Hip can pop off given the right scenario. We just have to see it a little bit more consistently. They're actually in the lead right now. It's 3-1 in this half.
And we're also at the point now where the Hunter's Fury is online along with the Rolling Thunder, so we do see that they usually like to use this combo very aggressively after you recon dart and see someone. That recon dart didn't necessarily hit anyone left, but they're going to have it back soon, and they can possibly shoot it into this Heaven area. But they're just going to rotate towards that A site, moving slow as they can, because there is a 3-stack right now on that B side.
Feroth's going to take out that Boombot pretty easily. And now it's a nearly full stack. You still have Feroth actually in main. He throws out the recon dart to distract and delay members. He wants to cover this rotation, or maybe not. Actually, he's going to bait like he's covering that rotation. And meanwhile, rotate through sewers to help his team.
Oh, they rush into the wall. Hip gets a kill onto Ice Paper Hands, but Link gets 2 with the Stinger. Where are you at? Law gonna try and push forward here. Hunter's Fury coming in. Kreia again on this pistol gets a kill. Soulcast finally lighting up, and there it is. It's going to be the defender side, fish123, able to win that round.
And we are very nearly back at a tied game. You know, coming into this map, I said I'd make an exception and say that Split was defender favored. It's not been defender favored. It's been back and forth. Both these teams are fighting tooth and nail every single round. We do have an eco now for Hip. They got a couple of ults if they want to throw that in. So, you know, maybe they get an early pick up a couple ARs, and turn them the round around. But the round around, wow. Okay.
Round around, that's a tongue twister right there.
Yeah, a little bit. Don't try and say it too fast. Otherwise, you'll spin around. Your head will, at least.
My head's always spinning when I'm with you, Paul.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm going to take it as a compliment. Kreia, his head's got to be
his head's
from
gone.
His body,
it's
apparently.
gone.
Yeah, Soulcast just taking that one off entirely. As the headshot lands there. He will get pushed pretty ostensibly here, but actually it's a fall off entirely now.
As they're going to rush into
they're
vents. They know there's someone there.
And
Beautiful wall.
Now
wall,
they're
bro.
trapped. They're trapped between a wall and a raise that I believe still has quite a bit of utility, and the very least this showstopper. You don't want to push through mail right now.
Yeah.
You know that if you're Hip.
Then they're actually just going to truck it back all the way through sewers towards that A site. They're going to have one person just anchoring on that mid area at B, but this is going to be a full rotate over into that A site from sewers. Petit Skull is just waiting to see if anyone's going to lurk, but this is going to be, they're going to be outnumbered when they're at A here on the defensive side, so we'll see what happens.
But they're going to be out, but Hip are going to be outgunned. It is a Vandal Only picks up the 1 though. So now control of the site does go over, and a beautiful wall prevents Heaven. Hip is gonna have to work some miracles with this ghost, and he isn't able to do so, but the spike at the very least goes down. Fearoth, he throws in the recon dart, but even though he spots people, he's not able to actually grab much of anything there. Not a bad eco round though. For Hip. They're able to grab at least 3 kills.
I mean, the 3 kills is really the most important part. They did plant the spike as well, so that's really good. More money is going to be going into their pockets. Some really nice plays, specifically with that wall. Hip just unfortunately went through screens, and Eccles was waiting there, right there, poking out with his Vandal. And Vandal versus Ghost, usually the Vandal is going to win that, no matter what range it is.
I mean, assuming that the player with the Vandal has their monitor on, you would hope so.
Yeah.
Or at least has their monitor on and has bought armor, right? Because if there's no armor, then, you know, maybe
then it's one-shot headshot.
A one-shot headshot, but that's much rarer than the Vandal just winning that fight entirely.
Yeah. See, Petit Skull has actually moved over to that A site, so he's going to anchor that by himself. The rest of the team is moving at B now, so now, as you can see, there's 2 at A, and there's 1 person waiting in the middle by the spawn of the defenders here, and they're just waiting to see where they want to go, where the push is coming from. But the thing is, when Hip plays this slow, it's very difficult to make that commitment, but it looks like they're trying to commit mostly towards that A side. And then now they're going to move.
Yeah, the second you say that, right? And that's the thing with Hip. Never actually believe they're committing to a site, because the second you think they are, they will bait and switch even their own teammates.
Yeah.
We saw that happen yesterday, actually, to Korea, if I remember correctly. Fearoth, not so much baited as just walking into his demise. There's a Rolling Thunder out into Heaven. An aggressive push coming forward, but the blind showstopper stops the push, amongst other things. Still 3 in Heaven for Hip. Paint shell used a bit too early, and now the neural theft comes out, but it's just a bit too late to actually catch Eccles, who will throw in his own Rolling Thunder, catch 1, and Ice Paper Hands will shut down Korea.
And now it's a 10-9 lead here for fish123. I wonder here if Hip is going to decide to eco. I think they should. I think you have to at this point. But Hip is buying that Bulldog, and this is...
Put it away. Okay. He bought it, and he was like, no, guys, we can do it. I believe. And the rest of his team, no, shut up, Hip.
If you were to buy that gun, if they were to full buy here, it would be like you win the round or you lose the game. You win the series or you lose the series right here. But now they're going to...
You win the round or you lose the series at the very least. I don't know if we could call the series in favor of Hip, but now we can at least say that they're going to have a round after this where they will be comfortable. It will be close, but it won't be an equal round on match point.
Ice Paper Hands again gets another pick. It's just like they're peeking that op through that B side or through that A side rather, and it's just not ending up working. Cryptix is dead. Cryptix gets a kill. Link gets a kill. 5v2. This eco round is not gone as well as they would have liked. They need to get at least like a couple of frags or something here to make this worthwhile.
And again, Ice Paper Hands. Actually, I'm gonna hold that thought here. Is Korea will get the 1 frag onto Soulcast.
Get a gun.
Shuts down Link. He's not picking up the gun.
Get that gun?
He doesn't even need it. Now he's got the Phantom. Still could he look for even 1 more. He's only got 53 health, so 2 even body shots will shut him down. Actually, I think 2 leg shots would shut him down too, if I remember my numbers correctly.
Yeah, it depends on the gun, but I think here you just you for sure just try and save this gun. You've gotten 2 kills. It's about as good as an eco as you could have asked.
If you think he's trying to save, you don't know Korea.
Please,
he's gonna walk
no.
They know. And Cryptic is gonna see him, even tags him. At least Korea gets around the corner before the spray comes out.
Is he gonna push through? He's put no. Don't do it, Korea.
He doesn't have the shrouded step up for another few seconds. He's actually managed to get around the side.
Okay.
And he finds Eccles. There's only 2 people left on the board, but he can't go for the plant because Cryptix was just waiting. Honestly, though, you gotta give it to Korea. That was a 1v5, and he finds 3.
He tried the best that he could there to get those kills, and he did end up getting those 3 kills, that really hinders a little bit the economy of the defensive side. But if you look, there was someone who has like 9K. So for econ, realistically, fish123 is in a very good position here, and they're 3-stacking this mid. I wonder if they're going to try and play this a little bit more aggro. Just try and rush down.
They are just 1 point away from match point.
Oh, they're rushing in.
And it does seem like they're rushing in. Nobody's waiting there, though. It's just a full disengage from Fearoth and the rest of Hip. The flash does land. But now, after that quick blitz play, it seems that fish123 baited out the utility they were looking for. And now they know that there's at least 3, probably 4 players stacking toward the mid site.
And it's really
mid area. There's no site there.
It's really good actually that you mentioned that, because like the fact that they were able to get out their utility of Hip is a team that really likes to play utility their own way, and when you're forcing it out in situations they don't necessarily want to use it in, that kind of hinders what their comp is all about, where they want to get the information specifically where they want, and if you're just using it in areas you don't really want to, then your composition kind of falls apart there.
Great aftershock there, but you can't grab the headshot. Soulcast is able to make that rotation.
He still has Bomb
Only
Buddy.
a couple of tags, and he's still got Bomb Buddy and his Paint Shell right now. And his Astral Charge. He's got plenty of utility. A flash is being waited too. Look right there, right next to him. The breach is just waiting for his call. Somebody is there. Flash them out. But it's a full rotation through vents now for Hip.
All going to be going towards this A site. There's the orbital strike, and there's a TP onto this A site from behind. Ice Paper Hands though gets 2. And this might be all done and dusted.
Priya does grab Link, and the A site is controlled at the very least by the attacking team. They're going to be able to get the plant down with just 6 seconds remaining, but now they have this op to worry about. They have a stim beacon likely going to be thrown out, and they are clustered toward the back of the site. And remember, there's still plenty of... Okay, now there's less explosive utility for Soulcast, but he doesn't even need it. He just finds that last kill easily. And we are now sitting on match point. Not map point, but match point.
And
for fish123.
They can't buy. I mean, they cannot buy. I mean, they have to. They can get like kind of
buy for everybody except Law.
Yeah. They can buy. I think they can get like only this like much. Yeah, they can barely do it.
Actually, even Lawbot. He actually forgoes getting full armor and opts with a T into a better gun, not an operator.
Yeah, so they can all buy. I miscalculated a little bit. They can all buy at least full Vandals with some armor and with some utility. But this is the last round. But I mean, you look on the other side. Even if they win this, right? The economy for fish123 is in such a good position right now, where they almost, even if they lose this, it's not really that big a deal for them. Where they're still gonna be able to buy a bunch of guns and a bunch of armor for that next round. But Hip, they're going to play this and try and play this the slow way. Ice Paper Hands on this operator. He's been a nuisance for the entirety of Hip, this entire series. What can he do with it this time?
He's been nothing short of nasty for fish123. And you got to commend this guy, too, because he actually changes up his strategy a lot of the time. He'll change up his angles. He doesn't hold the same thing. And he doesn't even hold the same sight a lot of the time. And that's what makes him so hard to predict. Where Petit Skull nearly gets his head removed from his body by that sniper rifle.
And again, it's a slow play coming out from Hip. We're only at 53 seconds left, and they're starting to make a decision. They're moving the spike over towards this middle. Looks like they're going to try and go towards B more than anything. As here comes all the utility.
Recon Bolt was destroyed when it was thrown into vents, so they know at least one player is playing back there. And the fault line did catch on to Soulcast. He's going to throw the forecast.
Oh, no!
Beautiful! Catches 2, nearly grabs that third onto Petit Skull. Ton of damage onto the Cypher of Hip. And now you just got to rush onto the site. You're running out of time. Law finds 1. So it's a relatively even fight. Ice Paper Hands, though, he's got that angle locked down from the back of the site. Petit Skull gets caught through the box. Somebody's got a plant. There's the Molotov. It barely avoids the toe.
Oh, he got the kill!
But Ice Paper Hands just comes around the corner and grabs him regardless. The slow play, the victory lap for fish123 and the defuse all at once, as they claim the last round they needed to nab 6,000 euros in the bank and be the winners of the